We're here.
I wish I could give you this feeling. I wish I could give you this feeling. On the corner.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Corner Podcast. Kel Dansby here, the old man Andreas Hale, producer Coale, baby in the building. We are feeling good. We are feeling better. Hopefully, our next show is in studio. It's trending that way. So I get to see the old man in person. Producer Coale, baby, can be in the booth or hopefully on the set. Hopefully, it's a pro wrestling show. So we'll see what's happening there. It's a little tease. Stick around towards the end. We got some news on the pro wrestling front to give you guys before the show is over. But so far today, we are bringing you the show again from our cribs. You guys can catch us on YouTube, the Corner Podcast there. Our full episodes, dope interviews being posted all the time on YouTube, and fun clips from every show are now going to be posted on YouTube. So just expanding our YouTube presence, making sure we bring everyone who listens the best of the Corner Podcast. So we're trying to get better. We appreciate everyone for sticking along with us for now 7+ years. We were just talking about that off air. So it is great to constantly be evolving. We appreciate you all. Today's show is MMA. We have UFC 275 to preview and to talk about. The UFC's been in like a weird place. We've been talking a lot of boxing. We've had great UFC interviews, but for the first time in a long time, we're like, is UFC third in our priority list in combat sports? So we're going to touch on that, touch on the pay-per-view that's happening in Singapore as well. We're going to start the show nerding out, and it's all thanks to the old man because he dropped in a link to a brand new video game. And I was like, you know what? We're opening up with video game talk, nostalgic video game talk, getting back to our roots from back in the day. So we're going to talk everything video games to open this one up. As you can see, I've shaved my head like the old man had. Congrats, first of all, old man, on another job. At this point, it's getting ridiculous.
What did I do?
Oh, we're on Sirius now.
Yeah.
So,
I got my own show, Fighting Words. That's right.
Oh, you got Fighting Word. That's not even what I was talking about. That's on Sporting News. You're a permanent member of the Sirius team. Yep. So congrats there. You have 1,000,001 jobs. Like Chris Jericho has 1,000,001 homes.
Yeah, I can't help it. Yeah, the Sirius
Our heroes
team,
rock, progressing.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. So even today, as we're recording the show this morning, me and Dean Thomas did Sirius. So I've one of the few people that have appeared on every show on Fight Nation with Sirius because I can talk all the sports. So in a matter of months, and they were just like, all right, well, you're kind of regular here now. So they gave me my own intros. That's great. And then Sporting News was just like, well,
they do not call you the old man, right?
No.
Okay. At least something's exclusive to you.
Nobody's that disrespectful.
Only me.
Yeah. I mean, and then you look at it like on Fight Nation, there's Bully Ray and Dave LaGreca and Dean Thomas, and they're all older than me. So it's like, I'm the middle guy. I'm the medium-sized man.
Guy. Okay.
Medium-sized man. So yeah, they're keeping me. It's busy, man. I got to do. Matter of fact, I'm doing Busted Open Radio on Saturday morning. My days are
that early show. That early show.
It's super early. I gotta be 5:30, but I got a newborn, so getting up ain't nothing for me. So I mean, all that to say is like this today. I looked on IGN. I go on IGN every day. It's like a bad habit of mine because I look at video games that I know I don't have time to play, and I'm gonna buy them anyway. And it's been like really slow in the world of video games. Like there hasn't been a lot of releases, and then all of a sudden, Shredder's Revenge comes out next week. And if you were a kid and played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the arcade, and now you see that there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game. They're doing the Cowabunga collection, which is like all the games, but Shredder's Revenge is like a new game, which is not necessarily a direct sequel to Turtles in Time. This is really going down a rabbit hole because people who don't care like shut the fuck up. Too bad. But Shredder's Revenge is a 6-player co-op, and I marked out because 6 players. I loved it when it was 4 players. When Turtles was 4 players and X-Men was 4 players, I love that. But 6. And they got Casey O'Neill in there, bruh. I'm so
That's
ready.
When you got to go to arcade and use all your quarters.
Bruh.
I hated the person who never died. That's the person like who spent way too much time at the arcade. So I'm blowing mad money, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm on my first life." Like in X-Men, that was the worst. Who'd you main in X-Men? Like, who was your character?
Wolverine. It's always Wolverine.
You're whack. Coale, who was your character?
In the X-Men arcade? Oh gosh. I mean, it was definitely a lot of Wolverine.
Okay,
as well.
There's only one bad.
He's versatile. What can I say?
Okay, I was always Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler was fun, but it's
Nightcrawler is my dude. Okay, I was always Nightcrawler. The only person you cannot beat in any X-Men game is Cyclops.
Well, yeah, Cyclops. Look, man,
he's arguably the worst character in all of Marvel.
In the history of these games, like Cyclops, Leonardo were like the same person to me.
Okay, I'm not gonna disrespect Leonardo like that.
I'm just saying at the time, because it was like Donatello was a super smart guy, Raphael was a cool guy, Raphael was like the edgy guy. Yeah. Michelangelo just didn't give a shit, and then
he was mad high. Let's just keep it a buck. Like Michelangelo smoked mad weed,
many blunts.
Weed. Yeah,
but Leonardo was always the guy who came with reason. Like, oh, we can let Shredder go, and I was like, man, fuck you, Leonardo. Like, get your shit together.
I hated it all the time.
Being all like, oh, don't steal my girl, Wolverine. Shut the fuck up. That's how I always felt about both of them.
So I never punked out so tough all the time. How Wolverine just come through and scoop your girl. To the point where Wolvie got a meme just fucking caressing your girl's face in a picture frame.
And Wolvie was straight dirty macking. It didn't even matter.
Didn't care at all. He was the king of dirty macking.
I was like, look at this. Like, as a kid, you didn't really get it. And then as you got older, it was kind of like Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, that feud. And then you started realizing what was happening. But back then, like with Hogan, he was like, oh, he's a bitch, fuck him. With Wolverine, we were just like, yeah, get that girl. Like,
Mega Mutants explode.
Yo, right. Everyone rooted for Wolverine in that. Every single person. Like Cyclops has the worst mutant gene ever. Because it's like, yo, fam, you can't close your eyes. Like the only thing you got to do is close your eyes, and you're ineffective. Like you can't do shit if your eyes are closed. Zero. Or even then, if your eyes are open. If you just put on a pair of glasses, you have no power.
Yeah.
You do nothing else. He is the worst. And he got the baddest chick in Jean Grey, who has the utmost power. He didn't deserve Jean Grey. She do better. She glowed up, as the kids say. Like Wolverine was the guy she deserved, not the guy she wanted.
Yeah, so all that say, like all these video games are coming out. We're getting ready to come out. The remaking The Last of Us 1. Which I'll buy again because I played through it twice. It's one of the greatest video games ever made. It's definitely the most gripping narrative that I've ever played in a video game.
Did you watch the movie?
What? The movie? There's a series coming out.
Oh, series. That's what.
Yeah, that comes out. I think that's next year on HBO.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
And of course, I'll watch it. And if they fuck it up, it is what it is. Video games are very hard to translate into series and things like that.
Yeah, I watched Uncharted. That was tough.
Yeah, see. The Uncharted video games are amazing.
Oh, incredible.
But yeah, as soon as I saw Mark Wahlberg, I was like, nah, no thanks.
There's one video game that I still want a movie to, and that is BioShock.
Yeah.
I still really mess with the Resident Evil movies. Like it's hard to fuck up Resident Evil in any iteration.
I don't know. You know what I'm really curious about? Very underrated video game, by the way. The Twisted Metal series that they're getting ready to do.
Only because Samoa Joe is in it.
No, I mean,
Samoa Joe, Mark.
I am, but Twisted Metal is like my game. That is one game. Hell yeah. Sweet Tooth, man, play them all.
Trucks just beating the shit out of each other.
Man, listen. It's a lot of people play Rocket League now, but like Twisted Metal was like Rocket League before Rocket League.
You play Rocket League, Cole?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, Rocket League is fucking shit. But Twisted Metal was just, and then like Twisted Metal Black on PlayStation 2 or was it 3? 2. Had like great stories too. Like everybody had a great story. And it had Back in Black was like the sound. Like, yo, I can't wait because if they use those stories that they had in the game and how people got cursed into these vehicles, this could be a really good series. I don't bank on them doing right by it, but maybe they will. Twisted Metal's my shit. What else? Like, what else was announced? Marvel's Midnight Suns. They announced Holy shit, it was a lot of games. A whole bunch of me and Cole were talking before we started. A whole bunch of, hey, we really like Dead Space. Let's make 30 games like Dead Space. Kelly, you never played Dead Space.
There were about
No,
three.
I've never played Dead Space.
There were about 3 or 4 games that they showed at the Summerfest that all looked like Dead Space. And one of them was made by the guys who originally made Dead Space. There's already a Dead Space remake coming from EA. And then there was another one where like it was like Troy Baker came on stage and he was like, "We're doing this cool thing in space." We're all just sitting there going like, "It's Dead Space, dog. It's Dead Space."
Nah, I've never played Dead Space.
Which, no problem. Dead Space 2, one of my all-time favorite games ever.
Really?
Yeah. Yo, Dead Space. All right. By the time this podcast comes out, the Quarry drops, which is after.
Yeah.
The Quarry
Yeah. Made by the people who did Until Dawn, which
and
is also
Until
fantastic.
Dawn is incredibly underrated because it looks amazing and it's just got a great story. And the Quarry is the shit. And it's supposed to be like one of those horror games. Dead Space 2 is one of those games like Resident Evil Village that you just absolutely cannot play in the dark.
Oh, so these are scary games.
Outlast is like that too.
Oh, I don't fuck with scary.
Yo.
So okay, that's why I didn't play it. I don't fuck
with scary.
I don't find that fun at all.
Oh, it's hard. Cause listen, I love them, but I catch myself when it gets real dark and I put on my Pulse headphones. I'm like, I gotta take these things off. Because I don't like jumping. I don't like getting scared anymore. It's like roller coasters when you reach a certain age. You're like, what am I doing?
Why am I paying to be scared?
But Dead Space 2, the action elements, the weapons, the story, like everything, it looked great. The fact that they're redoing it, yeah, you're gonna take my money. Just take my money.
Yeah, and it's still like kind of unclear if it's like just gonna be Dead Space 1 or if it's like a combination of Dead Space 1 and 2 kind of put into a game, which I hope it is. Because I love the first Dead Space is really good, but I don't know. There's some about 2 and like being on that space station that was so goddamn good, and it's also incredibly graphic as well. There's some violence happening in there.
Yeah. See, and the cool thing is with video games now, like
this brings me.
Hold on, Kel. I gotta finish talking about these video games right quick.
Go ahead.
Because
go ahead.
I've reached a point in my life, like I talked to my pops the other day, and my pops like, I've been laying on the couch playing Red Dead. Like, that's what he does. He lays on the couch and plays video games all day. And I was like, Pops, you remember that time I was playing like Double Dribble or some shit or Madden, and you were like, you're not gonna do this forever, right, son? And I was like, yes, I am. And it's reaching forever, right? I'm never gonna stop playing video games. I'm obsessed. I'm addicted. Yeah. I'm addicted. So when we tune into the podcast, you hear me popping about video games. I don't think you guys understand. Like, some people like video games. Some people play video games in their passing. I'm obsessed with this shit. If you like, all right, if my wife were to take the kids out of town and I was just left home alone, people are like, oh, you're gonna go out, go to the club? No, I'm gonna stay home and play video games. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Uninterrupted video game sessions. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do. Just play video games all day long. My wife would be like, are you out there cheating on me? Yeah, in these video games, like ain't doing nothing else, but that's all I'm doing is playing video games. I get to catch up. I would stay indoors, order food indoors, and play video games for a week if my wife was gone with the kids.
You told me last week, you're like, yo, I haven't touched my PlayStation or Xbox in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
it was painful.
Kidnapped?
No, it was painful. I was so busy. It's painful. You know, it's like I'm waiting for that age that my son I can like sit him there and then play a video game and he won't cry and shit. Like right now, he deserves too much attention. I just don't. I haven't had the time.
You have a bouncer?
Yeah, he don't like none of that shit.
Oh, yo, the old school bouncer.
He don't like it.
This is a life hack. No, not the newfangled like $1,000 bounce.
No,
the joint where you put and you gotta like bounce with your.
Yes.
Listen, you put him in there. You bounce with your foot as you're playing the game.
No.
And the rhythm of the game then pulses through your foot.
It doesn't.
And I'm telling you.
No, I'm telling you.
You got a whole different level.
I've tried everything. He don't like shit.
You're gonna make me come to your crib. Take your child, put him in the bouncer, and play a video game on your TV to show you how it's done.
You're gonna be like that bus driver, that uppercut that when you gonna learn today. You come over my hoce and try that shit. My son ain't having it. My son just started smiling. It's been like 2 months, and I'm like, oh, you finally started smiling? Like, you little jerk, man.
I've had so many kids that I am just the kid whisperer at this
Okay,
point.
that's what you think. You and Nick Cannon.
Oh, I ain't on his levels. I smartened up early. I closed up shop early in life, so I wouldn't be Nick Cannon right now. So none of that. Even though I do tease my wife occasionally, be like, "Yo, want to have a kid?" And then she just looks at me like I'm stupid. So that's always helpful. So what I was supposed to say in this video game discussion is we always do lists, and it's always fun. So we have list. We have 2 today, but I'm gonna start with the first one because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was how we started on this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be 6-player co-op.
Yes.
Reverse Rat Pack. We're all gonna get on this. Producer Coale Bebe's gonna join in. We're all gonna have a blast on this game. Makes me think, which video games do you want to see relaunched with 6 to 8 player co-op? Not 4.
That's tough.
Because it's a difference between 4 or now playing online, damn near where you can have the full court, like NBA 2K. Right? 6 plus. Which games do you want to see relaunched? Kind of like you have in Halo, or you have now in Call of Duty, where you can have everyone join in and fill up as many spots as you want. Which games would you want to see relaunched in this capacity?
Twisted
I have
Metal.
3.
Twisted Metal.
Oh, Twisted Metal. Okay, Twisted Metal is easy.
I would love to play Twisted
Metal. It might
Metal
be more fun if it's not the computer. Like if
Yeah.
we can have a player be each character, oh, then that's a blast.
Like if they did a Twisted Metal campaign, I'm big on like single player campaigns, but if you do campaigns with 6 people, I love that shit. I hate sports games with more than 2 people. I fucking hate them.
NBA 2K, like they've now built their brand off of this.
I don't
everybody
care.
is everybody.
I won't play it. I hate it. I hate depending on anybody else to do anything in a video game.
You're such an only child.
Yes, I am. So Twisted Metal. Obviously they've done Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let me see. I love Borderlands. So if they made a 6-player Borderlands, that'd be fun. If they did a 6-player campaign in Gears of War, that would be incredible. Because Gears of War is the shit. But you can only play with a couple people. If you can do the whole ass campaign with 6 people, I'm sold. But again, I like campaigns in my video games. They're like 6 players against each other. Depends on what
you're a story guy. You're really big on being a story guy.
Yeah, playing games for the sake of playing games I do, but man, I like to get to the end of something.
So I need a remake of GoldenEye.
I think they're doing that.
I need it like
they're teasing that.
Straight up.
Yeah, I've
like
definitely read
Halo, Call of Duty status. Like I need 6 to 8 players. We're running around the map. We're murking each other.
Nobody can be the midget.
No, Odd Job. Odd Job.
Nobody can be Odd Job.
That is always
unless they add a kick mechanic to the game, you can punt his little ass. That's the only way I'm gonna play as Odd. Like you can't play as Odd Job.
No Odd Job because you run straight through the grates and you don't have to duck and slow down. So no Odd Job. No Odd Job rule. So I need that. You're talking about being every person in the game. I'm fine with that. I need it. And my next 2 games are in the same vein. I need it for NFL Street and NBA Street, where it was 3-on-3. I need us to crew up. Like my 3 versus your 3. Corner podcast versus whoever. Like I need that. So give me NBA Street or NFL Street. I think NFL Street was 5 players, but it was 4 or 5. But I need that. Cool. Everybody needs to be somebody. Give me NBA Street, NFL Street. And then my last one is I need multiple players, damn near everybody, on Backyard Baseball. My boy Pablo Sanchez.
Pablo Sanchez is the greatest athlete we have ever seen in our time.
Yes.
So
ever.
That is an undeniable fact.
Ever.
In any sport, Pablo Sanchez, go.
Give me that with the ability to have everyone be a different character. We'll play Backyard Baseball like we play MLB The Show. Like, yo, what time y'all ready? And we'll get on there and just online, our crew versus your crew. And if we can have it like the Wii, when they have like the me characters, so everyone could create and customize their own backyard baseball characters. Like in NBA 2K, you go through, you make your own guy, right? And then you step on the court, you guys all ball against each other. You customize your own guy. I want us all to customize our own backyard baseball character.
Real quick.
And get accolades and play it that way. You're never getting me off that game.
Real quick before we toss to Coale. Pablo Sanchez and Stretch from NBA Street.
Stretch.
Yo, Stretch wasn't even the dopest in that game. You ever unlock Graylian?
Yeah.
Graylian the alien was unstoppable. And then Yeti was insane when like NBA Street 2, the unlockable characters, and that shit was crazy. Stretch was a beast in the first one though. I couldn't fuck with Stretch.
See, NBA Street, I wouldn't mind. I was a big NBA Jam guy, and I would.
NBA Street greater than NBA Jam, and that might be blasphemy.
Well, the ankle breakers, man. Like NBA, like there was no crossovers in NBA Jam. You just ran and shoved people around and shit.
So when you could do the Marbury, or you could hit someone with the Sham guard, like, oh my god.
There are two moves in NBA Street. It's off the Heezy and back to Papa, were the two best moves in NBA Street. You throw it off the dude's head back to you, or you throw it off the backboard back to you.
Just fucking spam off the Heezys until
game breaker.
Until you hit the game breaker. Oh my god.
I think that secretly got my pops like super into like sports games. So we used to smash them in like NBA Live and 2K and Madden. Then he played Street and he won a game and he was like, I'm in. And I was like, really?
This is it.
Coale, what are your games?
So good.
Okay. This is a tough question. I'm gonna pull out a real weird one here to start.
Fuck, and I forgot one, but continue.
Power Stone. They need to remake Power Stone and have it be 6 players. Because that, as like a fighting game, I feel like Power Stone was like a little bit right around the same time as the original Smash Brothers, and it was on Dreamcast. Power Stone was awesome. And a remake of Power Stone, make it 6 people.
You seem like a Dreamcast guy. Like you bought Dreamcast and had Echo and thought it was the best shit ever.
That was the one system I didn't have.
I didn't have
one system I never had was a Dreamcast.
My best friend loved Dreamcast and he carried around the fucking memory card and like you could do stuff on the memory card.
I think give me I have a guilty pleasure for the Dynasty Warriors games. And a 6-player version of that sounds like a lot of fun. Sometimes it's good to just turn off your brain and just hit square a lot.
Yeah. When you're just running through armies,
the occasional triangle, and then hit square again. I love like the bad voice acting in those games all the time too. And it was like I weirdly know about this strange period of feudal China in this weird storytelling way that's definitely not historically accurate, but I don't care. It's great.
I would so play that game with you.
God, I love those games.
Hours lost in that game.
They came out with Samurai Warriors 5. I played the crap out of that. It was great. And then I mean, give me a good iteration of like a online like Metal Gear game with 6 people. I don't know how that would work, but
me either.
But I would love to see how that works.
I have a game.
It could work with 3. Like if you campaign 3 people and like you have to solve like the puzzles and work together and one person got to go upstairs and you got to, it reminds me, what the fuck was that game that was very cool not too long ago? And it's weird, but you can like structure it. And they had like the little guys and one was red, one was blue and everyone played together. And you had to see who was like one person was always
Among Us.
Among Us. Like you can do it kind of like Among Us, but like with a real ass concept, like where it's just like,
but then it's Metal Gear, and then everyone just goes, huh?
Yeah, one person's going through like one gate, and you send one person this way and this. Like you can crew up. Like if one person's Solid Snake, one person this, like you can have a solid Metal Gear crew and like run through the campaign with 3 people.
All right, I got one more before we go to break or talk MMA.
I got one more video game question.
Give me a remake of WWE No Mercy with 6 people.
Oh, you're trying to
WCW NWO Revenge?
Yeah.
Just pick one. I don't give a shit.
Just so any of those old N64 ones.
Yeah, all of them are incredible.
You're trying to have us like AEW. You're trying to introduce trio titles. Like we're just like 3v3.
Because you played it on 64 and it was like, it was cool with 4. You do the Royal Rumble or whatever the shit. Yeah. But if you could just do 6 people and do like a TLC match or some shit, like, let's go. I know they do. I know because everybody talks about, well, you can do that on WWE 2K. No. I need No Mercy.
You know what's
I need
crazy?
that engine.
Is that like in Madden, me and Coale are in the Madden league. So it's 10 of us, right? Eight or 10 of us. And then like if you're playing the computer, you play the computer. If you're playing someone else, you play someone else. It'd be dope to have like people pick characters on the WWE roster and you have to go through like the storyline together. So if Cole's going for the IC title against Dre, that's your program. You're wrestling each other. If I'm wrestling in a tag team match with the computer against another computer, cool. That's what we're doing. And you just continue and you play your storyline as you go and you interact however
like
you
a
interact.
multiplayer my GM thing kind of sounds like it would be almost like WWE Dungeons and Dragons. It actually could be kind of cool.
I'm with it. I am with that. The last video game question I have, and this one is not as in depth. And I'm going to say one, make this very tough. One, if you can have one old school video game, and I say old school like PS3 and before, right? Like not current yet, that you can bring back on the VR, what would it be? As a virtual reality game, I will start off at mine. I don't care if it's the exact iteration. I would love to do Knights of the Old Republic virtual reality.
It seems very evolved.
Very, but you're running up on people, you're talking. It's kind of like turn-based, but I'm fucking people up with a lightsaber and choking people with the Force. I need Knights of the Old Republic. And it was close because the original Prince of Persia might have been my shit, but I don't know how you climb stuff in VR. So it was a lot of climbing and jumping. So I had to go Knights of the Old Republic.
I would pick. It'd be GoldenEye. Give me GoldenEye in VR.
It's a good one.
Like that's a different energy right there. I have to kick Odd Job too. There we go.
As long as we can kick Odd Job, whatever happens in this GoldenEye remake, if it is actually happening, just allow us to kick Odd Job is really all we ask. I would say, I'm gonna cheat a little bit because maybe it's not quite as old school, but give me a VR XCOM because I am sick and tired of missing 99% chance shots. Give me the VR capability to allow me to make the shot, okay? Because when it's 99% and it goes like, oh, he missed, and you're like, what do you mean you missed? And then the guy dies, and you're like, great,
Yo.
I'm triggered. I want to start over. I hate all this. VR XCOM.
You just watch your accuracy.
Let me have the accuracy in my own hands. I can hit that 20% shot. Damn it.
You have to if you don't play XCOM, you will not understand the pain that you go through of putting yourself out of position for a 99% shot and you miss, and then you get wrecked, and then you lose one of your top guys. Like it's a really deep cut. XCOM is a really deep cut, but it's such an amazing game. But if you die, your character is gone forever. And I've done it many a times when I played it, where I put my guy right in position to kill somebody, and I was like, I'm good. But I put him right in the open, and then 99%, and it shows him miss or he ducks, and you just go, motherfucker, and you're looking for that off button because you don't want to lose him.
One square away, around half cover, shotgun. All right, this got to end the game. Oh, he missed.
Yeah, then you're cooked. And again, XCOM is a game. If you lose that person, your game might be done because you may not be able to ever finish the game without that particular person that you spent all that time leveling up and putting equipment on. That's a lot of
responsibility on one person.
I love that game though. I love XCOM, but yeah, virtual reality be baby because I need to make that shot.
I got to have it.
Wow, what an incredible pick! All right, now we can head to break. When we come back, we're talking MMA to round out the show. UFC 275. Don't go anywhere. Be right back after this. All right, we are back. And as promised, we are talking UFC. Dre, we haven't missed much, believe it or not, in the world of the UFC. Last week, though, Alexander Volkov beat Rosenstruck in the main event, knocked him out first round. Good win.
Yeah, that good win, but that fight, Herb Dean should let that fight. Herb Dean was rough, right? He should have let that fight continue.
No,
Rosenstruck wasn't done.
No. He smiled at him after. Like they both spun away. Rosenstruck was out of there, and then he was just like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah, that sucks because it's a heavyweight fight with two guys that could touch you once and put you to sleep. You gotta let that fight go until somebody goes night night.
No, hands down. This weekend, we have a card, UFC 275 in Singapore. One, I didn't know Singapore was such a hot destination for people to go to. I've been mentioning this, people like, oh my God, Singapore, I would love to go there.
Yeah.
It's like, I think everyone on our ESPN social staff passed up on the opportunity. Like,
Really?
the fuck's in Singapore?
In
Yeah, because I don't know shit about Singapore. I definitely don't. But main card, we have some good fights on this one. Before we get into it, and this is a good card for like, especially hardcore fans. Great card. Is the UFC on the downswing? Because this is like the third pay-per-view where I feel like I come into it and I'm like, yo, this is a good card for hardcore fans. Like, it's 3 months in a row.
It's a good question, because what do you mean by a downswing?
I can't phrase it as them being in trouble, because the hardcores are going to continue to buy. The pay-per-view numbers aren't shitty, right? Like, Gervonta just got championed for doing 240 pay-per-view buys.
Right.
If a UFC card did 240,000 pay-per-view buys, Dana White would jump off the stratosphere. So, like, their floor is like 450. And then you go up from there. Like, really good cards do 850, 900. Monster cards do 1 point something. So they're not hurting. But in terms of what they were in popularity and buzz, it's not the same.
I mean, that's because Conor ain't fighting, right? Like, that's.
But you can't just have one Conor.
Yes,
they always had Conor and Ronda. They always had even John. He's not the biggest draw, but fuck, he gained some like momentum and traction in terms of name value. DC at least had some name value. Habib towards the end had some like name value. We don't have anyone name value. Jorge Masvidal was the biggest fighter they have fight in the past 4 months.
Yeah, so I guess, if you're looking at it in mainstream appeal, then sure. Like, Conor's not fighting, Ngannou's hurt, Masvidal lost. We don't know.
Stylebender fought, but
Stylebender fights. He fights International Fight Week. He fights at 276, which that'll do fine. They don't. I mean, there's not a crossover star, but that also means they're not spending a lot of money to make these cards happen, right? Without Conor, you save a lot of money.
Pocketing dough.
Yeah, like you get extra. You get a few 100,000 extra pay-per-views when Conor fights, but you're saving a few million when Conor fights.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it necessarily in a downswing. I think like this card specifically, it's not one you're going to convince a casual fan to watch. You're going to be like, hey, watch Yuri Prochazka and Glover Teixeira. And they're going to be like, fucking what? Why?
What?
They don't know.
Glover's still fighting? That's what they're going to say. Glover's still fighting.
Yeah. And I mean, and this card also has the fight of the year, probably the best women's fight we've ever seen, the rematch between Weili Zhang and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. And then you have arguably the most dominant champion in the UFC in Valentina Shevchenko. It's a really good card. But the UFC has made it that way where there ain't no more Conors. Like, we don't want that shit to happen. We want you to pay for the UFC, not for the fighter. So they're not in a downswing for themselves. But for anybody that's like, where's the big blockbuster UFC? It ain't happening right now. You're just getting these really, really good shows. That's it.
With that being said, does it happen again? Will they allow another Conor?
Fuck no. Sean O'Malley's the closest thing that they got to it right now. Sean O'Malley has to win. Right?
There's no country for Sean O'Malley.
Don't need to be. He's white.
Like, I mean, like, he ain't like all American white. So like, white people really, he ain't cowboy sorority white. Like, white people ain't fucking with O'Malley like you think white people.
Okay, let O'Malley rack up some victories and knock some people out. Like, O'Malley
like
has
top 5, like not pound for pound, but top 5 in the division. O'Malley, you think is like white people like are getting behind him?
And kids, yes. O'Malley's got a different kind of grip on people, right? Like, O'Malley,
the gaming helps.
Yeah, the gaming helps. His look helps. He's like a fucking troll if you just look at him.
Like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Exactly. That dude, he'll be fine, but he'll be controlled by Dana White, right? I don't think Dana will allow him to get out of control like Connor did. Connor was, they unhitched the train and that motherfucker just went rolling off the tracks and did whatever the hell he wanted. He was like, I'm gonna go fight. I'll run over this person, run over that person. I'll smack an old guy at a bar. That's what Connor ended up doing. That's not gonna happen again. I don't think there's gonna be another star like that in UFC. That's by design. That's not because they can't make one, because they can, but it's by design. They're not gonna allow somebody to become that big.
Interesting. Because to me, that like damn near puts a cap on what the UFC is, right? Because they've gotten to this level because they've had Connors, because they've had Rondas. To then cap and say, no, we don't want anyone to get bigger than us again. It's like,
I mean, but you don't, because what the UFC has spent the entirety of everything doing is build. Like, remember, Dana White didn't want women in MMA. The shit just happened and it took off. Like, Connor is an accident because anybody who comes close to that kind of Connor stardom, they have to control it, right? So Connor just got out of control to the point where Ariel Helwani just talked about in the MMA era that Connor's like talking about not coming back until 2023. Remember you said he'd be back in a year? This motherfucker ain't coming back to 2023. Partially because I think he still wants to fight Nate Diaz. He might be skirting a fight with Masvidal. There's all kinds of reasons why, but he's made so much money he don't need to fight.
Nope.
You have to keep people poor and hungry so they keep fighting. So you're not going to make somebody that big that knows their worth and then controls their narrative. So would it behoove them to find another superstar? Yeah, but as long as it's Dana White's best friend and doesn't get out of control, then it's fine. But I don't think
money makes everyone get out of control.
Right. That's why they don't pay them.
That's like sooner or later, money makes everyone get out.
Yeah. So if you keep them poor and hungry and barefoot in the kitchen, like they used to say of women back in the day, if you do that to the fighters, they're just going to do enough to make sure they can put some shoes on their feet. They're not going to be having goals of like owning whiskeys and shit like that. You don't want that shit to happen.
Never again. No more going out there and fighting top name boxers.
No, man, that's Dana's worst nightmare. Here, the funny thing. So Dana went out there and said, I don't want to do boxing. Boxing is broken. It's such a broken business. And I talked to Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar is just like, I tried my hand in MMA. That shit didn't work. No shit. You want to know why? Because you're in two different sports. It's like Roger Goodell coming to Major League Baseball and was like, I can fix this. It's not how the shit works. Your sport, stick to it. The only commonality is there is a ball. The ball looks different. MMA is like it's fighting, but it's not the same. Boxing and MMA, they're just not the same. You got to treat them different. So like Dana saying it's broken. It's not broken to boxing. It's broken to you because you can't control all the belts.
Yep.
Like, get a clue. Shit.
All right. So UFC 275 pay-per-view. First, shout out. Andre Fialho is fighting here again. We interviewed him 3 fights ago. It was a month.
Yeah, he got knocked out quick. He got work to do.
Yeah, like he hasn't lost since. He's just been running through people here in the UFC. He wasn't playing. Fight Jake Matthews. On the prelims card. Fuck it. I'm picking Fialho again, just for the sake of the podcast. Just letting that be out there. But on the main card, looking at the main card, granted, it lost Robert Whitaker, Marvin Vittori along the way. But Jack Della Maddalena versus Amaev, that's a rough opener.
Listen, man, let's be real here. Let's just get to the top 3.
Yo,
there's 3 fights on this card that matter.
It is rough when you start a pay-per-view card that way. But okay, top 3. Weili Zhang versus Joanna and Jacek. I don't know how focused Joanna is on fighting. I'm not sure how focused she's been in a long time. She's good enough to beat average fighters. She's not getting average fighters because they know how good she can be. I think she loses again to Weili Zhang.
I don't. I think Joanna versus Weili Zhang, the first fight, put a chink in Zhang's armor. From that point, she got knocked out by Rose Namajunas. And then she lost again. I don't think that Zhang is mentally able to cope with the idea that she's human. And because of that, she's not going to fight Joanna the same way that they fought the first time because she thought she was invincible. Now that she's not, it's a different story. As for Joanna, it is a good question. You haven't fought
Joanna
in 2
hasn't
years.
fought since.
Yeah, you haven't fought in 2 years. And if you go on Joanna's Instagram, you're like, I see what you've been doing, hanging out at the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Modeling shit.
Sipping Mai Tais.
Yeah. And Dean Thomas made a point today on our show earlier. He said, does he really want to cut that weight? You think you want to do it until you start doing it. And then you were like, damn, it's been 2 years since I did this shit. Because she had a hard time making 15 before.
Yeah. Honestly, coming back from 2 years, she should have just went to 125.
Yeah, they're too big for her 125. But what I think will happen is Joanna's mindset, she's a dog. It's just the way it is, right? She's lost fights before. It's totally fine. She doesn't like to lose, but she's lost. Well, Zhang hasn't necessarily recovered from losing. So I think this fight, whoever blinks first loses, and I think it's going to be Zhang, because if she can't fight with that aggression, Joanna's somebody who smells blood in the water and just eats you up. And I think Joanna's going to win this fight. More importantly, I think Joanna's sitting back, looking and going, because Rose lost, the door is wide open to be one of the greatest in this division again. All I got to do is win, and I get to beat the shit out of the woman that I beat the shit out of the first time to get this goddamn title, and poor Carla Esparza. Yep. I'm sorry. I don't mean to disrespect Carla, but everybody in that division is going,
she's food. She's food.
You are lunch. And Dana's pretty much said the winner of this fight jumps Marina Rodriguez to get a shot at Carla.
Damn shit.
Joanna wants that. Like she wants, like if there's nothing else, if she needs something to be hungry for, it's the fact that she said she was the greatest, lost that shot, and then Rose blew it. So now Joanna gets that chance again. If Joanna could beat Zhang in this rematch and get a crack at that title and be champion again, that's all she needs. I just don't know if Zhang is mentally there to compete in unfortunately a 3-round fight. It should be a 5-round fight, but unfortunately it's a 3-round fight. I think that Joanna is going to win this fight probably by unanimous decision.
Yeah, 3 rounds does play. I'll still take Zhang. Co-main event, Shevchenko versus Santos.
It's not a real question, is it?
Listen, Santos has looked good. I'm not going to say she hasn't earned it.
That's fine.
Right? But beating last year, Roxanne Modafferi, and then Joanne, what did you call her? What?
And she's just Joanne Wood now.
Do you just drop a Calder? Like, is this
married.
like a thing?
She married a Wood. So now it's like.
Wait, Joanne Calderwood.
Yes.
Married Wood.
Yes.
It's fucking phenomenal. Okay. All right. Sure. She's gone the opposite of hyphenating your name. Because like you get married, you hyphenate your name, like you add a whole nother last name. She was like, no, fucking, I'm just cutting it in half.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she should have hyphenated it. It should have been Wood Calderwood. Joanne Wood Calderwood would have been
her
phenomenal.
Kids would have been pissed.
It was just so confused. Yeah, no, I mean, come on now. Santos, good story. Valentino just needs somebody to beat. Give me Valentina. I always like picking like something out the box by submission. Something weird.
I mean, very possible. The real story here is like, look, we kind of did the same thing with Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena, right? We all picked Nunes to murder Pena. That shit didn't happen. The difference between Nunes and Shevchenko is we've never seen anything that suggests that Shevchenko is not dedicated to the sport. Paul Felder said that Valentina Shevchenko sips tea and whips ass and shoots guns. That's like her life.
That is it.
And Amanda Nunes, got a kid. She's married. Like she's got other shit to worry about. She let it get past her. Shevchenko's not to this point has shown any signs of slowing down to the point where it's like, if she wins this fight, which we fully expect her to, now we obviously want her to go up to bantamweight to fight the winner of Nunes and Juliana Pena. But if she doesn't, and you're Dana White, and if you for some reason you can't convince her to go up and wait, you got to pay her to sit on the bench. This is it's a weird thing to say, but what you're doing now is that Valentina is so far ahead of the game. And it's not like Ronda Rousey ahead of the game, because Ronda Rousey was just really good in one area and nobody else could catch up to her. Valentina is the most complete fighter in this division, in women's MMA. She might be the most complete fighter in MMA. Striking, grappling, she's short upper wrestling. Dog, she tossed Jessica Andrade around like it was nothing. And Andrade is the strongest woman that we've seen, and she was just manhandling her. She's so complete, and no other fighter can get there. And the problem becomes is like Talia Santos is getting this opportunity because they ran out of people to run up the ladder to get beat up.
Yep.
Once Santos gets beat, you can't keep feeding Valentina rising stars who aren't ready because she's going to eat them for lunch and kill their confidence. So you got to tell Valentina, it's like, listen, you got to go to bantamweight, get that title, or we're just going to pay you to sit on the bench so we can really create a contender because you just keep wanting to fight. We got to slow your ass down. She's too good. But yeah, I'm going to pick Valentina. Let's see. It's all these any way she wants to do it. I mean, dude, Valentina beat Juliana Pena, which another thing, she's looking at Juliana, like, I hope she beat Amanda Nunes so I can fuck her up again. Valentina fought Juliana when Juliana seemed like she was so tough and great wrestler, you can't beat her on the ground. And Shevchenko submitted her with an armbar with ease. So with this fight, I'm going to pick Valentina by third round submission.
Ooh.
Chokes her.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
so we're both going sub.
Yeah. She could knock her out, but I don't think it'd be like the Jessica I shotgun kick to the head knockout. I think
that knockout never gets old.
If she catches her, she chases her to the canvas. I think she chokes her out.
No, I agree. I mean, that knockout never gets old. I can see like the ref stopping it just out of pity.
It could go to a boring decision. We just don't know. Valentina just does what she wants.
No, hands down. So now we're going to the main event, Glover Teixeira versus Yuri. Yuri has the best ponytail in the game. Yes. His ponytail is only second to Brian in the studio, in which I'm trying to convince Brian to go full Yuri and put it up. Just have it sticking straight up in the air. Poor Glover. When Glover won the belt, we got on this podcast. I was like, yo, they're feeding him to Yuri. And he's going to go out on his shield. Fam, Yuri's going to make it look ugly. It's not going to be close. My over-under is 2 rounds. And I don't think Glover makes it. Give me under 2 rounds. Yuri probably knocks out Glover in the first round. They're not on the same level right now.
Glover's winning by submission.
People, this man has betting shows. Do not listen to him.
Okay.
Glover's beating Yuri.
Here's why. I'm going to tell you why. Look Yuri's beat 2 people in the UFC, Volkan Ozdemir and Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes ain't been shit, neither is Volkan Ozdemir. Yuri Prochazka fights one way, that's coming forward. He got tagged. I watched both of these fights, and this is why I'm making this pick. He got tagged by Ozdemir. He got tagged by Dominic Reyes. He just managed to overwhelm them with striking. What neither of them did to Prochazka, that Glover will do, is take him down. Yuri Prochazka can't get off his back if Glover takes him down.
You got to take him down 5 times to win this fight. Then.
Easy. Glover takes down anybody, they're not getting up. I told you that with Jan Blachowicz, and what happened?
Okay.
Glover gets touched every fight.
Every single fight.
And what does he do? He comes back and he wins every fight. If Glover puts Yuri on his back, this fight is over. Yuri's not getting up. You want to know why? Because you haven't seen enough of Yuri to make this pick. As much as you think it makes sense,
man hasn't lost since 2015.
Look who he's fought. And look who the last person who knocked him out was King Mo. He hasn't fought a wrestler. He hasn't fought a grappler. He hasn't fought a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. He hasn't fought anybody with heavy hands. Dominic Reyes.
He beat the shit out of King Mo in a rematch in 2015.
King Mo was washed by then.
Yuri Prochazka is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 straight KOs.
Who did he knock out?
Everyone.
Who? No, give me the names.
Everyone in between.
I'm asking you, and give me the names.
Reyes, Ozdemir, CB Dalloway.
Who the fuck is CB Dalloway? Keep going.
CB Dalloway was in the UFC.
Keep going.
Fabio Maldonado. Also
who the fuck is Fabio Maldonado? Keep going.
He was in the UFC at one point.
So a lot of people were in the UFC and they got booted. Keep going.
King Mo.
Keep going.
Those are the last 5. After that, it's Brandon Halsey, Jake Yun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people without fucking pages.
Right. But yet, because we've all been convinced of this.
But those last 5 ain't cab drivers. Like, we know them.
Hey, I'm just saying. We've seen a small sample size. We haven't really seen Yuri get tested, but Yuri gets hit. Glover has dynamite in his left hand. Now, let me run down the list of who Glover's fought. Jan Blachowicz, Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith, Nikita Krylov, Ian Kudalaba, Carl Robeson. He lost to Corey Anderson. He had his ups and downs. But let's look at all the people that he's fought. Ovin St. Preux, Rashad Evans, your friend Patrick Cummins, Ryan Bader, Rampage, Fabio Maldonado. I'll tell you this. There is nothing that Yuri's going to do in there. And when I looked at this list, that Glover has never seen before. He's not fighting somebody that he's just like, I ain't never seen that shit before. He's seen it. Mm-hmm. What Yuri's got to deal with is something that he had. Like, I think, and I said, because remember when they booked the Jan and Glover fight, I said the same thing. I'm picking Jan. And then I thought about it. I was like, nah, we keep sleeping on Glover. We got to quit disrespecting this old man. Now, granted, he can get old tomorrow morning and it's over. He gets blown up. But the one thing that Glover has shown us over, especially if you go look back, Jan, Thiago, and Anthony, they all clipped him. And he just comes back and he does the Justin Gaethje thing. But the thing is that he takes them down. That's what Yuri hasn't had to deal with. They don't even try. I think Dominic Reyes took him down pretty fucking easily. But Glover he's more top heavy than anybody that Yuri Prochazka has fought. As long there's only two ways this happens. Yuri needs to win in 7.5 minutes. If he doesn't, he's fucked. He has 7.5 minutes to win this fight. He ain't winning this fight if it gets into the third round, because that means Glover is winning if the fight gets that deep.
Yeah, that's a deep ass. Going 5, I'm not going to say that I've seen him be capable of going 5, right? Again, he's knocked out 10 straight people.
That's fine.
So I haven't seen him have to go deep. I haven't. But I don't think he'll need it.
All right. I'm just again, I'm saying
you're picking old man Glover.
I'm picking old man Glover. Like, I really sat down and thought about this. And I was just like, man, Glover's a 2-1 underdog. Mm-hmm. Glover is, he's 42, but he's super OG. The power doesn't go. If he buzzes, here's the other thing. Yuri Prochazka, go watch both his UFC fights. Yeah. Watch what happens when he misses and how wide open he leaves himself. If Glover is good at one thing, it's counterpunching. And he knows when to punch in between somebody's spots. Yeah. There's a lot of things Glover does well that he could take full advantage of, as long as he doesn't get clipped in the, like, look, Yuri's a fucking samurai, a savage. Like, he could do anything to anybody in the first 5 to 7.5 minutes of the fight. But if Glover hasn't figured out, it's going to be in still. That season, and you can't deny it. You can't deny the season of Glover Teixeira.
Listen, you make a good case. I think he gets it right. I said it the day he won the title.
I said it too.
Kill this man.
I agreed with you until I watched those fights again, and I was like, man, there's a lot of shit here. I was like, there's just a lot of, like, he throws wild. Yuri throws really wild. If he can, and Glover should be defensively responsible enough to stop some of that shit. The only thing that really, I think, will prevent him from winning this fight is if he's old. If he goes, like, he is old, but I'm saying if his body just starts,
if he's old,
but I'm just saying, if his body reacts like an old man and he's like, the chin is just not there, because the chin has been there. So it's like, and he gets up. You can't convince me, like, Yuri's been great, but I don't know if he hits harder than Thiago Santos. I don't know about that. So, hey,
Thiago hits hard as hell.
Thiago sends people to the nether realm. And Glover did, like, dog, you have picked against Glover, I want to say 3 straight times. This will make sure.
I am going to say 5 straight times. I think you might be underestimating. You just ran down, like, his recent fights. I'm pretty sure I picked against him in every single one of those fights.
Every single one of those fights, he won by a finish. Every single one of them.
He did. I still can't believe he won the title.
I can. I told you it was going to happen. Dog, not only did I tell you it was going to happen, I called how it was going to happen. I told you he was going to choke out Jan.
which is ridiculous. I was like, yo, the man just beat Stylebender. Like, he's not losing.
Yeah, but I told you,
42-year-old.
Dog, he's different. He's different. Glover Teixeira is different. And when you fought everybody and you see somebody like Yuri coming, you know what he's gonna do. It's not like surprise, he's gonna do something else. You know he's gonna come and throw hands and feet at you. As long as you can weather that shit. And we haven't seen Yuri fight going backwards. There's a lot of things we haven't seen. I think I saw an article, I can't remember who wrote it, that said this was like the reliable F-150 versus a concept car that we've only seen on the track a couple times. And we're like, man, that car is really fast. But the longer that it goes, like, then you realize, oh, well, shit, the grip ain't that great, or, you know, the steering, like, he kind of drifts to the right a little bit. Like, we haven't seen enough. So, yeah, I'm picking Glover. I'm picking Glover in the old man story of the year. Old men rule.
Old men rule. I mean, all right. Shout out to the 40+ crowd. I might be wrong again. Father Time's undefeated, though. So sooner or later.
So you met Glover Teixeira.
I'm going to be right sooner or later. Man, we'll see. We'll see how everything turns out. We appreciate everyone for joining us today, nerding out with us to start the show, then talking MMA to wrap it up. We appreciate you all. I'm not going to hold you for too long, but I promised an announcement at the end of this. And thanks to everyone at Blue Wire. A huge thanks to producer Coale, baby, and to a successful AEW week and before, and tons of interviews. We are going to be bringing back our weekly pro wrestling show. So every week, Sunday mornings, we're dropping a weekly recap of whatever happened the week before. When we have pay-per-views on Sundays, it'll serve as a recap for that pay-per-view as well. So it's going to be great to talk pro wrestling every week, get back to the traditional format of the Corner Podcast, 3 shows every week. So we'll have one dumb long show every week, probably to start the week off, and then 2 hour-long shows to close the week out. So make sure you guys are checking for us Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays going forward, with Sundays being our pro wrestling show. We appreciate you all. Follow us on social media at Corner Podcast _ on Twitter, Corner Club for Life on Instagram. Check out our YouTube, The Corner Podcast, where you can find everything from interviews to show clips to full episodes. It looks like we're getting past this Rona thing, so you can probably expect us to be back in studio next week. Thank you to everyone. Stay safe. You guys stay Rona free. Till next time, we're out.
Peace.
On the